Queens riders are navigating brand new bus routes as a network redesign went into full effect across the borough today. The MTA is promising faster speeds and shorter waits, but not everyone is on board. Elle McLogan met with riders in Astoria.
A 70-year-old system is getting a modern makeover as the Queens Bus Network redesign completes its final phase in Northwest and Southwest Queens.
I think that'll speed up the service.
The MTA says the upgrades will speed up service for the borough's 800,000 daily riders.
Having 24/7 buses definitely is useful for us.
It's fantastic because the parking is so bad. It's horrible.
But for some, the redesign feels like chaos, not progress. In Astoria, rerouting has put more riders in the treacherous path of a bike lane, says advocate Charlton D'Souza.
If there was a bus stop analysis team where each bus stop was photographed, measured, and all of that, we wouldn't be in this predicament.
Shinan stays vigilant as she waits for the wheelchair ramp to lower.
So it's a very narrow, tight space here.
This is lawsuits and accidents waiting to happen.
And D'Souza says it's not the only issue, as a Q101 segment linking Queens to Manhattan is discontinued.
And for people who want to take a bus in Manhattan, they're going to have to be taking 3 buses, you know? So it's really, this is not senior friendly, this plan.
The MTA says the plan reflects years of community input. Elmhurst resident Judy Wong doesn't feel her voice was heard.
They didn't ask the people, not me, because when they change, it's not convenient. Sometimes.
Yeah. So again, this kind of goes back to what I was talking about. So we have, elderly people, right? They're talking about how the Queens Bus Redesign isn't good for them. And of course, it's not good for them because the problem with Queens and the outer boroughs in New York City, the way that we have redesigned our bus network is to basically space apart the bus stops because obviously there isn't any type of heavy rail or any type of subway system that can link Queens and Brooklyn together. I mean, you only have one line, the G line, that does that. And then outside of that, then we don't have the IBX yet. We don't have any of that type of stuff yet. So we end up with a really big problem where we have buses that are used as kind of like the arteries for the outer boroughs. But the problem with the buses is there's so many stops. So New York is taking away some of the stops. But then by taking away some of the stops, now elderly people have to walk further. So it's like the real issue is that New York is trying to turn buses into essentially what subways would be. But now there's a missing gap. If we go to Manhattan, bus stops are spaced really close together. I think they're spaced like one every 2 or 3 blocks. But that's okay because you have a subway that's spaced every 10 blocks. But now that we're making it so that the buses are spaced every single 5 to 10 blocks in the outer boroughs, it's really, really bad for elderly people. I understand that, we're trying to make buses faster by lowering the boarding times, but again, now we're making it less accessible in general. And then you just see like where they've been placing the bus stops. Like you're going to place a bus stop in this area. Like, come on, like there's literally a bike path right here. You literally put a bus stop in a bike path. Like I don't understand that at all. All right, so continue to go.
3 buses, so it's really, this is not senior friendly, this plan.
The MTA says the plan reflects years of community input. Elmhurst resident Judy Wong doesn't feel her voice was heard.
They didn't ask the people, not me, because when they change, it's not convenient. Sometimes we have to walk so far away.
The MTA says it will conduct a review over the next 6 months to ensure reliability and rider satisfaction, using feedback to correct problems and make adjustments to the new routes.
Even though people complain online, nothing has changed. They haven't made any emergency adjustments, and that's the problem.
14 new routes, including special rush routes, will test whether the benefits outweigh the frustrations.
Yeah, and so another thing about bus redesigns, and we're going to get into Akron, Ohio's next. The thing about bus redesigns, these redesigns are really like a way to cut back on buses. So a thing about when we space bus stops further apart, again, you don't have to pay that much maintenance, especially if they're like bus shelters or something like that. You don't have to pay maintenance for the bus stops now. But then also all those other buses that were kind of like weaving through neighborhoods and stuff like that, those routes have gotten straightened out so that now they are faster to go from point to point from the end of the line to another end of the line, but they aren't good for people who will need that bus stop to be close by. It's not an improvement for the people as much, but it is an improvement for the MTA financially. So technically, these are like bus service cuts by making the bus lines more streamlined, if that makes sense. They would say they're finding, yeah, exactly. That's exactly what they're doing, Jasper. They're basically saying that they're finding inefficiencies. So they're basically like, okay, well, there's this a little bit of an issue here. Of course, maybe this bus stop is put on the wrong spot on the block. So we'll just instead of just moving the bus stop, we'll just get rid of it altogether, type of thing. And so they've basically been doing that. Am I for them doing this bus redesign? I understand why they're doing it from a financial standpoint, and I understand from a logistical standpoint, but the reality of it is the outer boroughs just need some form of heavy rail mass transit. That's literally the main problem here, is that they're trying to make buses fill that niche, and buses don't fill that niche. That's not a niche that buses can fill. So that's really the main issue.